Michael, because I see the world in, you know, and that being the shadow, really, the whole world, the whole cosmos, whatever the universe. And then you can take, the Paramatma as the witness or the substratum, and on which the base the whole world. And same within us. So you can take both ways. Would you say that?
I think
And
that when you're talking about macro and micro, it is like the same thing, but when it expresses through individual. Is that what you're talking about?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, and then I think to me when it that concept becomes totally clear when we talk about the example of space. That space is
yes,
one space entirely in the whole cosmos, but I feel like this is my house space or my room space, my closet. We can keep it, make it smaller and smaller.
right.
So you can take it, this is micro and that macro. Actually it is one and the same thing.
It is one and the same
Yeah.
thing. I mean, from that is derived the shadow only is because of that, is because of the light. The
Yeah.
shadow cannot happen. That's what it's saying. That's true. So,
Yeah, whichever way you want to look at it. Yeah.
yeah.
Or any other thing related to this topic? Any explanation, comment to make it easier for everybody? Because sometimes people do understand it slightly different in their head and they can share it then. Yeah. Joe is saying something? Joe always has something to say.
Really, I don't have much to say. I'm trying to finish my book, so
Oh, your mind is your book is on the same topic anyway. You are explaining it in your own
no,
experience.
actually, it was too big, so I had to cut it short. So I tried doing that, but I added up into two books. And first book is by itself. The second book is in three parts, and they turned out pretty good. So I'm now putting them on WordPress.
Oh, awesome. So finally it came, you were like Shivji showed you the Rasta. 2 books and with 1 book and 3 section.
Yeah,
Everything
but
is happening.
so now it's all broken up, and I have to put one last part there, and then I don't know what is the next step, because this is the English part, but then I have to do the Hindi part.
My God.
So
Big
when I
project.
sent you guys something for comments.
Yeah, I you did, and I'm sorry I haven't gotten to it yet.
No, that's okay. It's not that important, but I just came across there when I used to go to the beach. Um, there's a story in the book that I saw some birds, and I came home and told my daughter, I saw 17 birds today. And she said, "How do you know there are 17?" I said, "I don't know." So I went back next day, there were 17.
Wow.
And then I was trying to figure out what does 17 mean. So I had a mantra going on in which I had all these different gods, and I counted them, and they were 17. So from then on, so then I started doing this. What does one mean? If I see one bird, what does two mean? And so I went from 1 to 18 as to what they mean as far as I know. So like three birds can mean, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, or it can mean three gunas or whatever. So that's why I sent to everybody if I miss some stuff. So you can add to it. That will be.
But you have 18 points. Joe, you have 18. You exceeded by 1 point. 18.
No, I went all the way to 18 because there was 18 Puranas, 18-day Mahabharat, and 18-day Geeta,
18 chapters, yes.
So there are so many things that are 18.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, you become adult in America when you're 18. All of a sudden you become responsible for your own life.
Yeah, I didn't do the 1920. I don't know.
And I want to know where you saw the birds. Were they in a cage?
Oh, it was on the Del Mar beach.
How can there be same birds? They come and go, don't they?
No. I couldn't tell if they were same bird. I have a picture of the birds in the book. I took a photograph next day.
Oh,
And,
See, these are mystical things that happen from the subtle world, and the जिसके लिए बनाया ना वही समझ सकता है.
so like I had a 1 month was called Om month, where everything I saw was Om. So I come down on the for going to office to have breakfast, and I put my cup on the table, and the sun is falling on it, and on the wall it becomes Om.
Wow.
So then I bought a peach. It had Om in it. So I put the picture in my book on that. And then the sky, I saw the Om with clouds. So, but that was the only month. And then I'll walk and I'll see stones with Om. So then it went away. So it's not like nothing lasts forever.
Amazing. You
Anyway,
became Om Mai. Om Mai.
Om month. And these are no explanation for it, because this is not logic. I mean, you cannot identify that with logic. So I have so many stories in there which are all synchronous, and actually only explanation is once you get triggered into this path, then you have the iCloud of Akashic records attached to you. And Akashic records have everything that happens to you based on your destiny. So the people you meet, the book they come across, all that is part of the plan. So you don't have to do anything. It's very hard to explain.
I mean, somebody was explaining.
So all this effort we were talking about.
we are not doing anything anyway,
Hmm?
We are not doing anything,
But
ourselves.
I think we do.
No, I don't think that I'm doing anything.
And another thing I was thinking when we were discussing today, that what made me do things? I mean, whatever I did. Like I'll get 4 in the morning and do puja. I don't do that anymore. Why did I do it then and not now? So the idea was I was enjoying it. So everything we do is really we enjoy. So it's like a bribe to us, our body or whatever you want to call it, to make it do it. You cannot force to do it. Nobody's going to comment with this heavy Geeta class.
No, but what you said, Joe, about, why were you seeing those things only at certain time? And one of the Swamis gave a very beautiful analogy. He said, okay, now we have the internet, right?
Yeah.
So then what is internet? We are connected to the whole world in some way, form or the other, right? That's what it is, connectivity. That's why I can sit here and by email or by WhatsApp or whatever, connectivity, right? So he said that if you think about it, you can download whatever you need from that same pool. Anybody can, whoever needs whatever downloads. So I think that download was happening for you because you needed it that time to write your book. So to me, it's a very simple explanation.
Came much later.
What I mean is that उन्होंने आपको जो extend किया, आपने जो story बताई हम सभी को कि भाई शिव जी extended your life because you wanted.
The reason they gave me the book assignment, because the main assignment was to see God in my wife. I couldn't fulfill.
Yes, that's the highest goal. But in that, the other mini goal was to write the book, right? And to write the book.
They said because you couldn't do that, so we are giving you more time and also do the book in the meantime.
And this thing about seeing God in your wife, actually the whole idea is to see God in everyone. But basically अपने spouse में देखने में सबसे ज़्यादा problem होता है because spouse की कमियाँ अभी हमको सभी को खाली
नहीं, वो भगवान की मूर्ति में तो भगवान मैं देख लेता हूँ क्योंकि they don't say anything.
That's one thing. And spouse का तो you know them inside out, right? You know their strength and weaknesses both. So weaknesses में ज़्यादा ध्यान जाता है.
I'll admit that this recently, when I was walking and I was listening this Radha Krishna song, I felt so different. In fact, that is real love, which that you can feel. If you listen to that Radha Krishna song in the movie, they really done a good job, you know.
Yeah, I think you sent it to us, that theme song of Radha Krishna.
Yeah. Anyway, that doesn't work with the wife.
It's
Still not working?
It didn't work for Lord Krishna with the wife. I mean, only बल्कि वाइफ ने उनको वहां से निकाल दिया था. See, I went to Dwarka. The guide told me that because of something happened, that wife 7 years Krishna had to stay away from his wife.
interesting.
So he told him to get out from the palace. Did you know that story?
No.
Something, yeah.
Yeah.
So that they told me when I was traveling Dwarka, you know, they were showing all the temples and everything. Then that's the one story.
Very interesting. मैंने वो
Maybe
जब
he was mad because of Radha.
हाँ हाँ हाँ
Could be. We don't know.
देवों के देव महादेव में तो मैंने देखा था, बिकॉज आई सॉ द होल सीरीज, उसमें भी पार्वती जी ने निकाल दिया था उनको, कुछ झगड़ा हो गया था उनमें. I think that difference of opinion because of children, and which all of us face. You know, two people want to
No, I
bring it up
have a book
differently.
by Sir John Woodward on Kundalini Tantra of Kashmir. And they talk about this story when the Shiv was telling her not to go to her in-laws. I mean,
Oh
other
yeah,
spirits.
that's a very famous
And,
story. Yes.
She got so mad that Shiv got scared. And he said, okay, now you can go. See, he didn't want her to go. And she got so upset and mad. And she showed her Kali roop. And then he said, okay, you go. So that is it.
Because what the whole idea was that she had not overcome her kam, krodh, lo, moh, mad, matsarya. So that's why she was kind of not completely fit to be his consort, and she didn't listen to him, and she went there. Then she had to drop the body because uska itna insult hua, ye hua, wo hua. She had to, अपनी yoga agni से उनको भस्म करना पड़ा. Then she was born as Parvati, who did a big tapasya and purified herself.
Yeah.
And got rid of all that, negativity in her, and then she was fit to be the consort. So that's another way of looking at that story that you're talking about. So it's like a journey of Jiva to Shiva. That's what it is. So that's what we all are trying to do. We are trying to connect with the higher. It's a journey of Jiva to Shiva. So we are trying to get over our negativities.
She did a lot of tapas. And then you think of it, where am I?
I mean, this is a form of tapas only, right? Like you're trying to study, contemplate and all that. She did it because, of course, they are talking about the highest, but whichever circumstances you are in.
So also, the human body has different layers. You have a male body, a female body, then you have other body, and so on and so forth. So everybody has mixture of everything. So some is in female is predominant, but then there is male part.
Right.
Female is predominant, and then the female is part of it, and so forth.
At the highest level, there is no male female anyway. That's why they have Ardha Narishwar. They both are one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Ardha Narishwar.
Yeah, they are one, and that's why they have so many stories also. That there was one story in Devon Ke Dev Mahadev where one of these rishis said, I'm going to only worship Shiva. I'm not going to worship Parvati. But usko dand mila. And then finally he realized he cannot separate them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like somebody saying on the earth, I just want North Pole. I don't want the South Pole. It's not possible.
Shiva, they show like two sections. One portion is female, one is male.
Yeah, the whole idea is that it is one entity, and that to make it this cosmos, it just appears as split. But actually it's not.
Yes, yeah.
The same thing like the earth, if somebody looks at the earth as like a ball, they both are together, no? You cannot separate. But if you are on the earth, you say, oh, this is North Pole, this is South Pole.
Yeah.
In some ways it's a simple concept, but You have to look at it from different angles to kind of for us to sink in. Or the coin ko dekh lo, there are two sides, but actually it is one coin. But
also, I think Shiva, you can say, is the energy, and then the disturbance in the energy causes the universe. So that is the disturbance part is the female part. Like,
yeah, you can look at it that way. Yeah. Or the I like the explanation of the fire and heat and light. So heat and light is like Parvati. You cannot separate them, but it
not
appears
higher,
separate.
it is the disturbance in the same energy. So it's the same, but yeah.
And I think that science kind of, what should I say, agrees with it, because they call it the whole universe started with a vibration. They also say the same thing. Some kind of vibration happened.
But how can you have a vibration? They said, there's nothing. It's completeness. And therefore, we don't say, that's complete. There cannot be any vibration.
No, you cannot say there cannot be.
Superimposition. It's not. Because you cannot have that. To me, that's what I read. That's what I think, We read about the witness, we read about the substratum of that, and that is absolute. There is nothing, no vibration in there. The vibration, to me, that's what I read, that's what I understand. So what are we talking about?
Okay, when you say fire, how would you describe fire? How would you describe heat and light of it? It's integral part of it, but it appears as separate. Because heat can heat up something else also. Right?
True.
And then the other, suppose dancer and dance. Dancing is a part of the dancer, but dance just comes out of it and merges back into it. When the guy is sleeping, he's not dancing. But where did the dance go? It merged back in him. Same way you can say that, there is this Brahman, some disturbance happened, and for a while something happened, and then again it merged back into it. So you cannot say that it didn't happen. Or the ocean, the waves. What are the waves?
Right.
It just came up and went down.
See, those are all limited.
But the concept is the same, that there can be some disturbance that we call cosmos. It's not that, our problem is that when we think it is completely false, that also is not true. That's why they use the word mithya. Mithya is like, you cannot say that it didn't exist or it existed. It's somewhere in between that we cannot describe, undescribable. But we experience it.
Yes, and therefore,
That's why you have to. So it is a little bit technical thing that whether it's there or not, we all experience it. Same way what Joe is saying that, the disturbance happened, we experience the disturbance, but in the end it merges back into that.
Because in fact in Indian scripture they talk about Mahapralaya, Pralaya, everything, all the way down to Anu. So there's a whole time dimension is kind of identified.
True, but that only to explain the creation. And if there is to me, only to explain the creation, everything has been done that way. Otherwise, there's just oneness. And not even, you cannot call even one, right? Because there is no two. There is nothing else.
Okay, another example, because what you're bringing up is a very important point. Our dream that we saw, can we say that it happened or not happened?
It's another state completely.
Yeah, so you can look at it that way. I experienced it, but in reality, nothing happened.
Yes.
So that's why it's what you are saying. They in Bhagavad Gita, what they said is that this particular situation you can not even undescribable बता दिया उसको. माया को undescribable बताया है भी और नहीं भी है.
Because we are in Maya, we are experiencing it, and therefore we have to say, for transactional purposes and everything, yes, it is there.
Yeah.
Because which is not permanent, impermanent, so is a reality at the moment, but that's not what we are. And that's what the idea is, to go from here.
Yes, yes. That all is true, and that's why they explained it so many different ways: reflection in the mirror, or shadow and light, or
Yeah.
Brahman and Maya, whichever way you want to take. But in the end, almost if you keep staying at this state, you can go crazy, because you will not find an answer either way. That's why
Yeah.
it's called indescribable. But it's best to rest in that Brahman, where they say changeless, Satchitanand. They came up the best
Yes.
word. We love that word Anand, right? The bliss. Everybody want to be in that. Why not just think about that way? Yeah, today the topic was very, very kind of deep.
Okay.
Everybody can think about it more. Okay? Can we close now? So
Yes.
okay.
All right.
Okay, Hari Om everyone. We'll see you next
Hari
week. We
Om.
will do it on Wednesday only, just like usual.
Leo.
Thank you. Thank you.